I have to say, just to be able to come back to the place where it actually all started, I mean, and I honestly believe that the show would not have been the phenomena that it was if it weren't for the launch that we did at the original Comic-Con. Those people went out and they evangelized and created websites and talked about it. And this was before, social media had really taken off. So they just did it by sheer force of their fandom. So to come back and get that kind of welcome was just incredibly gratifying. We needed to really keep it secret that Mossy was going to come out, and we actually had prepared if he didn't come out, and because there was a chance that he might not make it. But yeah, it started to become real about a week ago when we saw the first trailer cut, and just saw how fantastic a job that NBC had done putting this trailer together, and the excitement started building, and friends started sending me emails and texts, and so yeah, it was pretty amazing. Well, it just seems like you can't go anywhere in the sort of Comic-Con area without running into something that reminds you that Heroes Reborn is coming back. It's the whole experience of walking through, first of all, seeing all the props from the former show, and then this fantastic interactive sort of 4D kind of where the floor shakes and you get your superpowers and all that.
Being back in my NBC family is already so special, and being back on a reimagining or continuation of a show that I was already a fan of, that Chuck was so kind of closely linked to in the sci-fi fantasy genre world, but also in this world because of that at SDCC and on the same night and all that stuff. It's really surreal. It's all very surreal, and in the first and stuff, Chuck, we had incredible panels at Comic-Con every year, but we never made Hall H. And so it's really cool that this is the first show that I'm a part of that has gotten to the big room. And to be honest, the most special thing, and not to sound like I've been around the block a few times, but it's like it was very special for me. But I think it felt most special looking down the line at all my cast members, who many of which, I mean, me and Jack, and clearly Mossy and Jimmy Jean-Louis and Greg moderating, they've all done Comic-Con, but most of the rest of the cast have never had this experience, and it was really awesome to see Danica or Gatlin or Judy's faces like just light up and be like, oh my God, look at this thing that we get to be a part of. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? I love connecting with fans. I love giving them a voice and an opportunity to feel heard and seen. And we got to do a little bit of that today at Hall H. We had 6 questions or so, and people got to ask us some of the things that they really want to know, and I'm all about it.
Easy. It's crazy. I mean, how often do you get a chance to revisit something like this? I mean, as Tim said, it just really doesn't happen. Every once in a while, there might be a follow-up to something, but to actually have a whole series of episodes, in production that's going to hit the airwaves again after all this time is crazy. And it was just going back into production was so exciting. So to come back here and see that full hall again, and it's just amazing. It also just shows you the staying power of the show, and the fact that the brand recognition and whatever people might have thought about the show at the end and at the original series, they're here. They're still very interested. There's a lot of interest in this show, so we're really excited to bring it back. I made it out there. I went out there this morning, and they showed me around right before they opened up, and I took pictures in front of my 17-story photo or whatever that thing is. Those things are great. And they showed me around. I did the powers, and that was all very fun. And then took some pictures with a bunch of fans in front of the photo, and it was great. I'm really glad I got a chance to go out there. I got to see some, there's a Jackie Wilcox in there. I guess it could have been a Claire, but I think of her as Jackie Wilcox, the cheerleader that did not make it because she had her head cut open. And she was all in the cheerleader outfit with the Siler line across the head there. So there was that, and there's they test you for the powers. They're very much the Heroes Reborn Renatus, the 2015 version, which was very cool because it just, if you're a fan of the show, the great thing about this is that it just brings you up to speed immediately. You go from, okay, this is a different world, and who is Renatus, and what's going on, and and there's the hero truther, and you get to see a picture of Noah Bennett and Claire Bennett and the whole family, and there's the broken HRGs in there, and there's a bunch of things that you might remember from the original series, and then to go into the Renatus, we're going to test you for powers. And it's a great. It sets up really well the feeling of this seemingly, benign corporation, and you very quickly get the idea that maybe things are not as they seem.
Coming on stage 10 years after, the initial premiere was absolutely amazing. I mean, we had the way I entered, my character entered was kind of fun because we did a prepared clip where I kind of talk about, I'm sorry I can't be there, and my powers got nerfed, or did it, and then he disappears from the screen, and then I show up on stage. So we had a little gimmick going on, but the crowd loved it, the fans loved it, and it's just fantastic, because this is home for us, and just to be able for us to connect to the fans and give back to the fans, and it's just an amazing experience. So it's always nice to know, it's like, oh, this is why we're making the film, this is why we're making the show. Oh, getting the crowd behind the show is so important because that's what created us in the first place. When we debuted the pilot at Comic-Con 10 years ago, that's what changed everything. The fans got behind it, the word of mouth, especially in this day and age with all the digital media and the social networking, word of mouth means a lot. So if we don't make something that's quality and that's something that the fans can get behind, it'll never be a success. So it is really important, especially with network shows. You rarely get a second chance. So the first few episodes are really important. So we really need that, the fan support to come out of the gate strong. What they can expect from Heroes Reborn is the same stuff you loved in Heroes. It's all drama about the character, some superpowers, some heroes, some villains, and a lot of fun. There are going to be some old favorites, and there's going to be a lot of new favorites as well. So a lot to look forward to.
Moderator, favorite character, moderator, most powerful hero. Hello, America. I'm back. So cool to be, and honored to be asked to do that. That was so cool. It was magical, honestly, really magical. And also to get that reception. It just shows how people embraced our show and continue to embrace the show and have not stopped thinking about it in one way or another. Heroes set a bar back then that was unprecedented. No one else was doing that kind of thing, that filmic quality where you really, and also it was very personal. So in a way the show was huge, and in a way the show was also very, very small. That's kind of the way I felt in there. I tried to bring it in very small and and intimate at the same time. You cannot deny just the spectacle of this show and know that we set a bar that other shows now, you look at the trailers for these other shows that are out, they're unbelievable. I mean, honestly, they're movies on TV. But Heroes is setting a new bar. The stuff I've seen, the stuff I've shot, I am not lying. I have no interest. I do not own the show, people. I am just lucky to be a part of it, and it is unbelievable. I think we had a good time, and I think we delivered not through us joking around, but through content, and also in so many forms. The show is not just back. The show is back with an incredible app that'll catch you up and keep you going, and you can reference it and go, oh yeah. I mean, if you were ever lost, and then that's the opportune word on a show that I was the pilot of, that set the bar for not being able to follow story or whatever, that's not going to happen anymore. You have an app, you can look up the characters, it's so beautiful. Dark Matters, a series that's going to catch you up. and also fill in the blanks and the holes and stands on its own, really. And then the games, we've got games. It's a whole new Heroes world. Yeah, I saw that. That was really a great thing to be able to see, the cheerleaders outfit with the blood on it and my ID and I think Peter's passport and all that stuff. It's very, very cool. I mean, it just reminds me I should have stolen stuff. I really should have taken stuff. But you don't know that the show's going off the air, so you didn't take anything. No, it's to see stuff immortalized or, really kind of put on display like that means that there's really an importance, and people should have seen around that section. Even when I walked through, people were like, oh yeah, there's Matt Parkman. Look at this. And I'm like, I'm right here, guys. Hello. People are really digging it. It's great.
I mean, backstage we didn't exactly know how many people were going to be out there, and I mean, I've never been to Comic-Con, so I'm new to this. I didn't know really what to expect. Then we walked out, and there's thousands of people, and they're all cheering, and there's so much great energy. And we showed the trailer, the extended trailer for the very first time, and it just got a really great response, and it was incredible. I loved it. I mean, I'm such a big fan of Heroes, and I'm so happy to be part of this, and the scripts are obviously fantastic, but I've never seen it pieced together. So watching it, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for this to come on air. I got goosebumps watching it. It was fantastic.
Fans got to see, an amazing extended version of our trailer. They got to see what the prequel is, actually, and actually, they got to see a little bit of acting from Masi, which actually that surprised me, along with the 2 video games. So there's a lot of content we're pushing out, and I think Heroes is just going to be everywhere at some point in time, whether you're either playing it, watching it, or just reading about it. I watched the first one, and I became a fan after that, and it's incredible, and it touches, so many different demographics, because we have so many different people throughout the cast, and such a big cast, that everybody can find something interesting in it.
For me personally, it felt like being a rock star. I was lapping it up and enjoying the energy of the crowd, because I'll never get to do it any other way. So it was brilliant. I felt like a Spice Girl. And it really has been an interesting journey in Comic-Con of just realizing how big this is. One of the things that I said to the other cast is, we're up in Toronto and we're shooting it, and you don't really know what you're doing. You're just going there every day and you're developing this character, and you're talking to the other people. And here, when you see it with the public and you see the trailers and you see the exhibition and you see the posters and you see the fans, you really get to see just how huge it is, which is a little bit daunting but also really exciting.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, we had heard a lot of hype about it before, about the myth of Hall H and what happens when you go on stage for the first time. And when we were backstage and waiting, the trailer was playing and the bass was really heavy. We were watching it and we were so emotionally invested in it. And at the end, it was just this massive cheer, and we were like, that sounds like a lot of people. So when we finally went out on stage, it was just incredible to see 6,500, 7,000 people in one place. So it was just unbelievable. It was brilliant. They got to see a lot, actually. We packed in a lot into an hour. It went by so quickly. For us, we were like, oh, we're done. Let's go. So they showed the 2 different video games, new video games coming out, which I'm definitely going to play because they look really fun. The extended trailer for Heroes, and also Marcy's clip, which was really, really cool. I was actually on set that day watching the fight scene, and it looked incredible even from there. So now to see a finished cut product is awesome. It looks incredible. Yeah, there was a really cool gallery that showed the characters that it was related to, like the cheerleader costume and the horn rim glasses that had a little crack in them. And it was really cool. The gallery was very well laid out, so it was nice.